All good things come to an end. Kick it. Hey, thanks so much for clicking on this video. We're going to talk about the third and final day of Riot Fest. I want to say right now, I apologize to the early band Friday, Sincere Engineer. Deanna and the band are just getting bigger and bigger. So proud of them. Great band. I apologize to all the early bands. Every year I usually go start to finish 3 days in a row. And last year, I'll tell you, that just killed me. So a lot of my friends are like, you still go all 3 days? This might be the last year I do all 3 days, but so I did all 3 days, but I would start every day like between 1 and 2, and it made it a little bit easier because the sun was brutal. If it's cloudy every day, or if it's like drizzly, that's no problem. But when it's hot, it's hard to do 3 days like that. Let's get back to Jawbox. Walked across. Now Jawbox to me will always be a special band. I got into punk 90, 91. I always knew punk was there, and I listened to Ramones. If you want to consider the Plimsouls punk, Plimsouls, Sex Pistols, Clash. I always listened to some punk, but I never really explored the genre that much until around 90, 91. That was the time that Jawbox released their first album, Grip. This is their first one, and it just blew me away. This was just like Freezer Burn, Impossible Figure, Tools and Chrome. This was just, I just latched on them. I really love Jawbox. That's their first record. This is their second record. Jawbox. Really can't go wrong. This is one that they got like a, ooh, this is my favorite one there. There's actually just a 7-inch. Tongues and zeros and ones. You see this, you can probably get it on eBay. This is a great one. And they played Tongues tonight too. This is their one that got a major label push with this one. It just didn't break it over, but For Your Own Special Sweetheart. And then Jawbox is their final one. They figured, hey, let's just call it after the band. But anyway, so they played a little bit from everything, and great sounding. They sounded great. Check them out. Jawbox. I hope they stay around now and just keep playing and touring. I mean, I'm sure they have, you know, quote unquote real jobs and that whole thing, but hopefully they can fit it in their schedules. So after Jawbox, which was really fun, that was reliving hearing those songs, man. They sounded great, played great. That started me into a good Sunday morning. Yeah, whoo! I was going to church of rock and roll there. Walked by, got some nachos. You always got to get nachos. That was my breakfast champions, sweet tea, and the nachos. And I'm addicted to nachos. I mean, I've had friends that have been addicted to all kinds of things. So in the bingo card of addictions, nachos isn't the worst thing to get, but I am addicted to nachos. I can't walk past nachos without getting damn nachos. So I got nachos en route to see on the Rebel stage, which is way out there, Kid Sister. Three girls from New York, and they play like jangly pop rock, a little bit of edge sometimes. I found it pretty good. You know, I stayed around for a few songs and thoroughly enjoyed what I heard. So I kind of wanted to walk around a little bit, get one last look of Riot Fest. If it is the last year outside in the park, carnival style, just who knows. And I walked by trying to go to the food area again, and I overheard Less Than Jake playing. And here's a cool story about it. This is the punk rock community story. So I was in this band Oblivion. We were playing on the road, and somehow the guy who booked our tour booked us at a ska festival. I think it was in Virginia or somewhere, or South Carolina, somewhere. And we were not a ska band whatsoever. We had one song that had horns in it, but obviously on tour it's just us three, so no horns. And we played the ska festival. There's a bunch of kids just like, I don't hear no ska music. So we knew we weren't winning people over. So we did something that we thought was kind of funny. That's what we did on tour. We just amused ourselves. We had a Taco Bell bag, and we had our friend who was on the road with us throw it in front of the crowd of people like that. And they all kind of moved back. And our singer said something like, oh, we forgot to light the flaming bag of shit. And everyone's like, oh, there's shit in that bag. And he got back. It was funny. from my drums perspective to look out, because I used to see all kinds of stuff when you're a drummer, because no one's looking at you, so you just look at everybody else. And to see the people like, oh, they just threw out a bag of shit. that was good. So anyway, we got paid at that show. We didn't think we were going to get paid at that show because we didn't like anybody. Nobody liked us. We just went to the next town. And the next town, Less Than Jake was also on the bill. And they came up to us. They're like, hey, you know, we got your like $45 or something. You guys got paid. We're like, what? We actually got paid? And like another band took that payment and actually paid us? Like that. So hats off to Less Than Jake guys. They're honest, and they, you know, honesty goes far. So here we are 100 years after that event. I'm still thinking about that whenever I see your band, how honest you guys were. Great. And I'm sure we spent it on Taco Bell and gas, because that's what we did. Hey, talking about stories. I wrote this book. It's called Just Words. Look on Amazon, Just Words. The reviews are nice. One guy's review is not so nice. You know, he said I needed an editor and all that, which I agree. I could have rearranged it more reader friendly, but people seem to like it. It's got a lot of early '90s punk stories, like the one you just heard. So, Just Words on Amazon. Check it out. I may rewrite it or add a chapter or two as life goes on. I don't know. So I found a little spot in the shade. Just, you know, it's getting killed with sun. The first two bands. So I just sat in the shade and just watched people skank and enjoy Less Than Jake. And that's what music is all about, enjoying it. Went around the big crowd because I knew I was going to want to end my evening with Jimmy Eat World. Because I knew I'm leaving after Jimmy Eat World. A lot of people say, what? You're not going to stay for 9 Inch Nails? Well, I'll tell you what. I saw kids gather around the fireside. I'll tell you a story. I saw 9 Inch Nails, Lollapalooza 1, which is 1991. I'm 20. Trent Reznor's like, what, 25 or something at the time. Young. I forgot that they were that high up in the lineup. And I'm going to do a video that kind of show review, take you back to Lollapalooza 1. And that was just amazing. You know, he's destroying keyboards. They were probably hollowed out or not really high-end keyboards, because not that dumb. But just the anger and the angst. A lot of people watched their show from, Woodstock 94, I believe, where they're all in the mud. But to me, that Lollapalooza 91, Head Like a Hole, was still going up at the chart. Oh, that was good time. So I don't think anything is going to ever top that. And plus, I wanted to get home. I did see them at Riot Fest a few years back, and they're great. They're a great band. I think they got voted like Riot Fest's favorite band concert of all time. And before we continue on with this video, let me know in the comments below what your favorite performance of this Riot Fest was. So I knew I was leaving early, so I knew I really had a good time for Jimmy Eat World. And they took the stage. They're from Arizona, formed around '93. They have about 10 albums out there. I have a few of their CDs. Really, if you're looking for any Jimmy Eat World, they're all good. It's really catchy rock and roll. It's good stuff. This one, I also have this one. It's just, oh, it's so good stuff. Now wait for showing this, because I'll tell you why. They took the stage and they just instantly just sounded so good. I'm not crazy because I take the right pills every day. It was so nice to be up at the barricade. It's something to lean on. I'm sure everyone's heard The Middle. That's their big song. But if you aren't a fan, and you don't know where to start, check out this Bleed America from 2001. This is a perfect record. One of the best records from 2000 on ever. Just an amazing record. If you love rock and roll, I hate when people say rock and roll's dead. You know, it ended with like the Stones or Zeppelin. There's so much good rock music after those classic rock bands. These old people, man, they don't know what kids today like. Kids today like an album that's 20-some years old. No, but they're still putting out music and it's still great. So they sounded really good. I mean, really good. And of course, classic Riot Fest moments. There was a wheelchair being floated over my head. That was awesome. And that's really what it's all about. That's why musicians make music. It's trying just to get through this world, man. Just trying to have a good time. And it's just a release. And when the band is good and the crowd is good around you, it is just, there's nothing in the world beats that. It was awesome. I achieved that at the Jimmy Eat World. Fantastic performance. And, you know, leading up to that concert that week, it was a rough week for me. So just to end on that kind of note was just, it makes you feel like everything's going to be all right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe and like and do all that YouTube kind of stuff that you need to be doing. Thanks for watching.